Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to this totally inappropriate Stellaris tutorial. Today we are going to talk about the interface. The interface is something that, in the beginning, it looks really scary. It has a lot of buttons. It has a lot of little symbols. And as you look at it, you think, how could I possibly remember what all of these things do? Fortunately, when you go flipping through them like a bunch of channels, you'll see useful information, and I will now teach you how that information works. To begin our video, let us begin with the left side here, beginning with the symbol of your government. Now, when you look at this government interface, it gives you the base information. What is the name of your government? Who is the president? What are the ruler's traits? What are your governing ethics? What type of government do you have? A democracy? An oligarchy? A dictatorship? What kind of civics do you have? When is the next election? You can click this button right here. Find out when the next election is, and oh look, here's all the different people that could potentially become elected. Here is their age. Here is their opportunity at the ballot box. Here's little bits about what they want to do. So these little interfaces can lead you to other interfaces. Much of playing Stellaris is simply the question, how do I access that information? And once you've gotten a little bit closer to that answer, you can look at the correct list and you can figure out what's going on. Now, when you look at this interface, some of these things are simply, where was I again? And some of these things are like this list right here. Now, this particular game that I have uploaded for us has been going on for a while. I am currently at 232 years of playing. This empire is on top of the world and is pretty much ready to beat the game. Because this is a game that's been going on for as long as it has, I've gotten a whole bunch of different modifiers. Now, these modifiers are little bonuses that I have picked up as the game has gone on. I got some drone mining techniques that gave me plus 10% to my minerals. Enhanced solar power, which gives me plus 5% to my energy credits. I have something called void loops, which gives me plus 10% to my physics research. These are little things you get mostly from anomalies that you research, and it goes, oh, you get this little bonus for the rest of the game. And that's what all these are about. If I scroll down this list here, you can see all the different things, including things like this, Patron of the Arts. It even tells me when it expires. 1,188 days, and then I will no longer be a patron of the arts. In 635 days, this ability here will expire, called Mustering Psionic Strength, and on and on and on. There's even a little Relations tab. By the way, this is the very first time I have ever pushed this button here. I have never used it. Proof that large amounts of the information that come to you in this game aren't necessarily something you have to use. They are simply options. So when I look at this Relations tab, this shows these people are in my Federation. These people are currently my subjects. I am their overlord. These are groups that I have just a straight-up trade deal with. These groups are associated to my Federation. These groups I am in a research agreement with. These are all groups that I have migration treaties with, on and on and on and on. As you can see, I am the Children of Gaia, and nearly everything like this that has this type of a title, if you click on it, you can actually rename it. So I could rename myself from the Children of Gaia to something else. This way, if you begin as the Empire of Earth, and then you expand way beyond the Earth, you can name yourself something else. Let us take a look at the bottom tabs here. This right here is my diplomatic weight, by the way. It will tell you exactly where your diplomatic strength is coming from. As I go down the list, I can see my diplomatic corps, my Xeno diplomacy, my Xeno relations, my envoys, my council members. All of these are adding to my diplomatic weight. It then shows you the base value, more pluses and minuses. You know, if you really want to get into it, you can. So that's my government. If I go here to reform the government, I can spend 250 influence, and I can change from a democracy to an oligarchy to any of these other things, even a corporation. I can change my civics, and so at a certain point in the game you'll get an extra civic because you only start with 2, and in order to get the extra, to actually select the extra civic, you have to reform government, spend your 250 influence, and then you can pick up the extra. Now, you will have to spend the 250 influence no matter how much or how little you do reform your government. Therefore, it's a good idea to really look at this before you click the reform button. Now we've got this little demographics button. The demographics tells you all about your populations. This game has been going on for 232 years, and I am a kumbaya empire that loves everybody and wants to get as many people in my worlds as possible. According to this, I have 124 population units across 34 worlds. Or at least I have 124 humans across 34 worlds. If we look up here, this little thing right here shows me that my empire's population, the total population, is 2,511 population units. And this breakdown demonstrates that I've been busy. I've been collecting people from all over the place. And if you really want to go into it, you can go down and click on these things. Whoa, okay, that was a whole lot. But it'll show you, you know, you can see which species is which, and, you know, my human population makes up 4% of my empire. And you got yourself a little color wheel. It's all kinds of fun. The advisor, well, depending on what version of the game you have, this is the original advisor.
Priority alert. This pre-recorded message is triggered in the event that your VIA unit has suffered a critical degradation of its ethical constraints matrix.
If you get more expansions, you get more cool little voices that your advisor can have. Being the human empire, the children of Gaia, I decided to go with the diplomat.
Nothing is impossible to those who would try.
And all of that is what you find in our main menu here. Now let's start with the first one, contacts. Alright, who are these people? These are all the different races that I have contact with. As you can see, this particular galaxy is quite filled in. There's a bunch of different races. I've definitely expanded my color over a whole bunch of them. And this is a quick way to talk to them. Now, every single one of these lists has the ability for organization. So, up here at the top, I always organize my contacts list, my diplomacy list as I would call it, by this little one right here. Sort by their opinions. This is how they all feel about us. So, the people who like me the most are on the top, and the people who dislike me the most are at the bottom. So you can see very quickly, this group of people doesn't like me, and this group of people does. You can also sort by relative power to your empire. As you can see, I am the king daddy of this universe. Everyone is either pathetic, or one or two are actually inferior to me. What kind of federation are they in? I am in the Star Pact, so I could actually just do this, And now I can look at, okay, these guys are all in my Federation. These two are in a Federation together. These guys are in a Federation together. This is the Galactic Information Exchange. They're in another Federation. This actually has quite a few Federations. But typically this is how I organize everything. Plus, because I do it this way every single time, I can very quickly get the information I need. Now, you can see here, status. This is a quick overview of what in the world they have. The Consentical Unity is currently, I'm in a federation with them, we have a research agreement, we have a migration treaty, we have favors to collect from them, and they are improving our relations. So they have a diplomat in my system and making sure that everybody stays happy. So this is a quick way to see what's going on. Now, let's communicate with these guys right here. Oh, before I do that, there is a little bit of organization that I want to touch up on. Finding things on this map. There's a ton of ways to find information on this map. If I'm looking at this and I'm like, where the heck is the Consentical Unity? Well, because I've been playing for a while, I know they're actually right down here. But let's say I'm looking over here and I'm like, where's the Concenticles? Where's the Concenticles? I just don't see them. Well, I'm going to press F1 because I use hotkeys. And also, when you highlight this, you see so it says contact, hotkey F1, hotkey F2, hotkey F3. So I can very quickly call up whichever one of these I like. It's very convenient. Now, Consentical Unity. This little camera option up here shows a little camera with a target. If I click on it, it says Go To. Boom, the whole screen moved. And here we are, the Concenticles. Right here in the corner. Now, I want to communicate with the Concenticles. And here we are in the diplomacy screen. What the heck is this guy doing? Well, this is the Concenticle's current president. This is what happens when you have a very inclusive society and you don't have a lot of controls on your population. You allow people who are not your race to become the president of your empire. For example, I am the human empire, but what the heck is this dude? He's a species called the Kephivad, which is definitely not a human, but he's definitely my president. From here, I can select any group. I want to talk to the Commonwealth of Man, a very xenophobic group that doesn't allow non-humans into their empire, except it looks like they have human, 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 robot, human, robot, human. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is the fascist human empire, and the only reason they like me at all is because I am also human. And so I am one of the only races that's allowed to have a positive relationship with them. Everybody else can go pound sand. And so down here you can see in this screen, here is how you do diplomatic things. You can improve relations or harm relations, make claims, offer trade deals, break commercial pacts. We'll talk about diplomacy more in a future video. Okay. Number 3, the market. Okay, so the market. Did I jump one? I did jump one. Number 2, situation log. Alright, the situation log has 3 tabs along the bottom here. Situation log, anomalies, and victory. So the situation log is any type of quest you currently have going on. Like this one, Asteroid Blast Doors. It tells you all about this little thing. And if you're like, where the heck is this? This little symbol here means it's an archaeology site. Okay, that's cool. Where in the world is this thing? Well, I can track it on the map, and then I can go to it. And there it is, right there. Asteroid Blast Door. There's my track symbol. And now I can see, oh, there it is. It's right there. Here's my empire. Here's this one little mission. This is the malfunctioning precursor chain I was chasing, where I was learning all about the bowl, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. It's a malfunction, and I think it happened because there was a major update while I was playing this game. Here is my orbital research mandate, something that is unique to democracies, which I will talk about in another video. But yes, any quests, any anomalies, anything you want to really check out, here is your situation log. You meet a new species and you gotta make sure you get their language down. This is where it's going to be. Anomalies. Chuta. Okay, so normally when you find an anomaly, there will be a little, you'll see like a system, and there will be a little microscope icon with a little Roman numeral next to it. That is an anomaly. They appear in this screen, so you can go and find them later without too much difficulty, and as you can see at this stage of the game, we've pretty much cleared them all. And victory points. Here's where I get to brag about how awesome I am. By the way, the Fallen Empires? Gosh, they're not even on this list. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. I've done quite a bit of damage, I think. Here it is. The Talika Peacekeepers and the Synthoid Continuance. These are two fallen empires. As you can see, they're rather whomped right now. So this is what a winning game looks like. It says on January 1st, 2500, the Children of Gaia will win the game. So as you can see, I'm just a few years away from that. I've got 2432 is the year. So if you ever wonder how you're doing, how your system strength compares to the strength of another empire, you can be like, okay, my economic strength is 33,000. The Kitsune is the next strongest. Their economic strength is 23,000 and change. This group is 18,000 and change. So this allows you to figure out how powerful you are in relation to other space empires. Next, the market. F3 to call up the market. So, this market allows you to use your energy credits to buy and to sell things. So, I have a metric ton of energy credits, but I decide I need some more minerals. I click on the minerals. If I want to buy some minerals, this is the amount that they cost per mineral unit, and down here it allows me to buy 100 or 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. And it shows you down here how much it's going to cost for that. Now if I buy a bunch of these, this number will actually go down, or rather, wait a minute, it's the other way around. So the market price adjusts depending on how much you buy and sell. So if I buy a bunch, let's see here, got a metric ton of money here. So let's buy a few thousand minerals. I'm at 0.85. 1.07 is now where I'm at. What was that? Oh, it's letting me know that I maxed out. That's what this symbol means. Resource storage full. That means everything is good that I buy beyond this point will be wasted. So, let's take a look and let's sell some of these excess minerals. After all, I'm making a ton of them. I don't need all these. Okay, so over here you could see that the buy cost went up to 1.07 minerals per tick. The sell cost per mineral is at 0.87 minerals a tick, which I think actually means I will net a profit by selling this, because I was at 0.81, now I'm at 0.87. Awesome. So, I will go over here and I will sell 10,000 minerals. And I'll go from 0.87 to 0.69 to 0.51 to 0.33. So each time I sold it, as the market was flooded with minerals, they're not worth as much, which is why you want to buy and sell in bulk if you can manage. Then you look over here and you realize that it was over 1 per mineral when I was purchasing. Now it's at 0.41. So this is a system of purchasing and selling. That's minerals. You come over here to food. That's a different number. You have volatile motes. 18 versus 14, that's a whole big difference. 0, 22 versus 18, so you can tell these are much more valuable materials. This is dark matter, and 22 and 18. So yeah, you can see how some of these things are absolutely off the chart as far as purchasing and selling. And it'll even tell you down here, this is the total amount bought versus the total amount sold. And then over here on the right hand side, this is automatic trades. Add new trade monthly. So I can go in here and I could say, okay, I'm running low on food. Okay, so let's buy food. I'll buy 30 food per month. This whole max buy price is basically if the unit gets beyond this point, stop purchasing. But it'll buy 30 food a turn. Add. And now, every turn, this will buy another 30 food off the market automatically. Eventually, I'll get to a point where I don't need it anymore. I can just click, go to cancel remove. Boom, done. So, slave market. This allows you to buy and sell slaves. If you're an empire like mine that does not allow slavery, then any slave you purchase is automatically freed. It's a way to get population units quickly into your empire. At this stage of the game, we have outlawed slavery through the galactic, what the heck is this thing called? The galactic community, this thing up here. We have actually eliminated slavery, so when you go to the slavery tab, it's just like, nope, nothing there. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can't even sell. No planets with slaves, there you go. Alright, next one. Planets and sectors. So this is a quick look at all your sectors in your empire. You can see who's in charge. You can see the name of the sector. And in the sector you can see, okay, this has 1 system, this has 7 systems, this has 8 systems, this is how many planets, how many colonies are actually in that one, and how many people are in there. Your sector setting, if I don't want to have to mess with these planets, I can click this, and I can actually have the AI take over. So I can have them a balanced focus. Boom. Now I don't have to really worry about these planets anymore. The AI will actually take care of them for me. However, the AI tends to do a very mediocre job, so the only reason I would do something like this is in a game like mine where I've got, what did it say, 34 worlds? So yeah, it becomes a little tedious to micromanage. So you do something like this, and then the area, see there's a disabled sector auto build, so I am now back in charge. But this will allow you to automate some of the work if you've got too many planets. I may have to look at this one a little more. This is a section I don't mess with very often, so I may have to read up on it. Expansion Planner. If you click this button and there is a world that is not colonized, it will appear here and it will tell you information about the world so that you can decide whether or not to just send a colony ship over there or not. Policies. These are all the policies of your empire. So, I could spend an entire video going through this. Your diplomatic stance, your war philosophy, your war doctrine. These are your different stances. I'll talk about this in another video. And once you change one of these, it's stuck like that for 10 years. So don't hit these without actually reading what the heck they do. Edicts. Edicts are also something I'll do a whole video on. Basically, you start with 2 edicts, and then as the game goes on, you get access to more of them. These are special little bonuses that you can give your empire. Most of them are timed. Some of them, like the ones with the gavel, are not timed. Once you turn them on, like this one, greater than ourselves, it lasts until cancelled. Oh, and by the way, to cancel it, I have to pay this amount. So I have to pay this amount to activate it and pay this amount to deactivate it. So be careful before you start spending points without just, you know, reading what it actually does. Traditions. Okay. This is what a maxed out tradition tree looks like. So one of your resources is unity. Unity is generated by your population when they feel more unified. As you... every single one of these traditions requires a certain amount of unity points, and the system will actually tell you when you've earned another one. At this point, I have completely maxed out, so we don't have that much going on here. Relics. Relics are major artifacts that you find that do special things. This is a very odd game because I am 232 years in, I have basically won the game, and for some reason I have no major artifacts. That's just the way this game went. It was kind of strange. Ship Designer. This is your ship designer. There will be an entire video about designing ships. Fleet Manager. Fleet Manager works very well alongside your fleet designer. You got a bunch of different fleets. You can click on those fleets, and then you can send ships to those fleets. You then press the reinforce button, and it builds the ships automatically from the closest shipbuilding stations, and automatically sends them to your fleets. Technology. Technology is a thing that you need to do a lot of in order to win the game. The person with the most technology wins. Factions. As your government grows, you will have these different factions that all have different opinions about how your government should run. Up here is basically the different philosophies and the percentage of your population that really is heavy into that philosophy, that embraces this philosophy as their primary ethic. So I'm a xenophile because I've got so many darn aliens, and so 51% of my population embraces this. 47% of our population currently embrace this ethic. Due to its current attraction value, we expect around 51% of our population to embrace this ethic. Interesting. See, by reading this stuff to you, even I'm learning a little bit more. And so down at the bottom, it'll show you the pluses and minuses. Like, if I highlight the percentage, it'll actually show you that for the militarist faction, it says Empire has active non-governing faction, which increases this. Population has strong and very strong trait, which increases this. And some of my factions have the weakness trait, which decreases this. So it tells you why these are what they are, which is kind of nice. Oh yeah, also, these factions are what you use to get extra influence points. The factions with the largest amount of people in them, for example, as you can see here, if I organize by size, the alien suffrage movement is my #1 faction. 74% of my population is part of this faction. This faction is a xenophile ethos faction. And the only thing, it shows here all but one, and if I go down here, it shows you all the things I've done they like, and the one thing that I've done that they don't like. Basically, I haven't uplifted another faction in a while, but I'm at a point in the game where I don't think I can actually do this anymore. The second faction is 521 pops, 50% approval rating, and if you look down here, you can see why. Next, claims. When you go to war, let's say I'm going to go to war with these guys right here, or the Synthoid Continuance. I'm going to go to war with these people. I got to click on claims, and then it shows you I can spend influence to put claims on these systems. Now I do that, I make my claims, it will spend it out of my influence, and then because I have claimed these systems diplomatically, I then have the ability to declare war and conquer these pieces of territory, which will then go to me on the map. If I don't do that, they'll either go to nobody, or they may go, I may conquer them and they may go to a different empire. That's all possible. Species. Oh my goodness. Look at all species in my empire. This is one of the reasons why just having your migrations packs on full blast and letting everybody go everywhere is sometimes a little messy. Setting rights for each species can also get pretty nuts, because after a while you lose complete and total control over your empire, the way I have here. If you set default rights, these are the rights of every new species that comes into your empire. Or I can look at a specific group. Let's get my humans. If I can find my humans. Those aren't actual humans. Here we go, human superior. Which apparently means they're plugged into the matrix, but I have psychic humans. Those are the ones I like. So, here are my psychic humans. 124. Their rights are over here. Set rights. Now, they are full citizens. Anybody who is not a full citizen will probably be a resident. This is what I'm recommending for most of your aliens, unless you want them to be able to go wherever the heck they want. Your first handful of aliens will be totally fine at full citizenship, but once you start getting a bunch of smaller races involved, I recommend setting their default rights to residence so that you have to manually select them and put them to full if you want them to be able to become leaders and such. Living standard. This is something to do some reading on. The default living standard is decent conditions, and it shows you down here that the different types of people, rulers, specialists, and workers, will all have a different level of happiness and will have a different level of consumer goods to keep them happy. That's what that little orangish brown symbol is, the consumer goods symbol. And so, I have this currently set for utopian abundance, which gives everybody a plus 20% to happiness. Everybody, it shows unemployed pops have normal happiness, and they produce unity and research when they are unemployed, which is kind of nice. However, everybody is, this is almost a communist, it's utopian abundance. It's almost like idealistic socialism or idealistic communism. And so every single person costs the same amount of consumer goods. Military service. Full military service means I can get officers, admirals and generals and such. Soldiers only means they're only allowed to be in the military as shock troops, and exempt means you're not allowed in the military. Colonization rights. Colonization rights determine whether or not you can actually get into a colony ship and go somewhere else. Honestly, I would recommend not even bothering to have somebody in your territory unless you are using them for colonization at some point. Now, if you are conquering and subjugating a group, make sure that you default to colonization forbidden. That way, it just keeps things a little bit cleaner. Now, population controls are very similar. Population controls, if you put population controls enabled, it prevents pops of this species from growing their population. Interesting. I've never actually activated this before. This will be something I'll have to play with in a future game, just to see what it does. But basically it says that it prevents the population from growing if you put them on population controls. So that could be interesting. Migration controls. This is the thing that allows your people to go to whatever world they want. And this is where you get those worlds that are like, oh, let's take a look at Earth. Let's see here. My population of Earth, as you can see here, is mostly human. But then you've got all these other races on this one world. You start looking at your population and it's just like, well, there's humans. Those aren't human. Human, not human, not human. Human, 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 not. If this matters to you, if you would like to keep your, whoa, look at all those different species. I don't see any humans on this. So if you wanted to make it so that this was all humans, you would have to activate your population controls. There we go. You'd have to activate your migration controls to prevent populations from moving at will. Slavery and purge. Slavery is the ability to make sentient creatures into slaves. I always play with this off. Purge type is if you're playing with a particularly evil empire that wants to purge all the aliens from your population in order to keep you pure. By the way, if you purge, you will become a mortal enemy of every single species in the galaxy. They tend to not like that. Now, also in here, I can modify a template. Once you get the ability to do genetic engineering on your people, you can come here and you can design your race. You can add extra traits to your race. For example, my humans... So many races. So many races. There we go. My humans... That's not humans. These are humans. Have a continental world preference. They're psychic. They're adaptive. They're rapid breeders. They have natural they're natural engineers. They have an enduring lifespan, and they're a little unruly. And that is because I added things to them as I got more trait points. Once you have it set up the way you like it, you click Create Template, then you can apply the template, and it'll even ask you how much do you want to apply this template to. Well, I would like it if all the humans were like this. All humans everywhere. I will then apply the template. It says number of selected pops is 18. The cost is going to be 4,430 research units, and that's social research.
Situation log has been updated.
I apply the template, and then my situation log updates with this right here. Species modification. It'll take 30 days, and it will modify these 18 pops on these 8 worlds into this new thing. I then come over here and I press research. It says it'll take 1 month, and then that just runs. Final leaders. Alright, these are my leaders. In the start of the game, you will only have 1 governor and then a group of scientists. If you want more scientists, you click on this, and here's 3 more scientists you can take. When you got a lot of money like me, you can just kind of go through it and be like, well, that guy sucks. Buy him, and then fire him, and then you'll have another one in their place. But you can see I've got generals for ground troops, admirals for my navy, scientists for my research, and governors for all the different sectors that I have. Whew, and there you have it. That was the left side of this Empire screen. I will go into the right side next time, and yeah, this is a good place to stop for now. I'm hoping this was a good educational video, and I will see you among the stars.